Hello, today we have a big marker in front of us. I want to say at first, I'm not a SAR12 expert at all. It is not my marker, I don't know technically nothing about it, so don't ask things like that to me in the comments because I cannot help you with it. The reason why I make the designs for the SAR12 is because I want to help out a friend of mine, Rudolf from the Black Templars. He knows a lot more about the SAR12, so if you want to know more, go to his YouTube channel and you can find a lot of more information about it. But yeah, I will show some of my designs, how it will work on the SAR12, and let's continue to that. And of course, I'm pretty well known, I guess, for making magfed adapters. So the company from SAR12 already makes one for the T15. So when I see something like that, I think, well, you can also use that for like the TIPX magazines, the Dmags, Helix mags, the TMC magazines. Of course, some of the magazines are maybe not really realistically practical to use with the SAR12, but maybe at the same time when you have like your SAR12 magazines, you're running out of ammo and things getting really close quarters, you maybe find it more useful to have magazines like this with you, or borrow that from your teammates that maybe use the same like TIPX magazines or TMC magazines, and you could carry an adapter, something like this, with you, and just change that out, and you can use those magazines. Of course, I leave that up to your imagination if that is practical or not. I've made a test print. That's this green piece right here. It's basically practically the same as from the official one. This one fits. Because it's got no macro right now, it's kinda tricky to pull out because it's kinda a snug fit. But that's a test piece for me that I can see that there's enough clearance around the rail if something sticks out. Of course, that this is nice and flush with the body, that it locks in place, things like that. Based on that one, I can say that all the adapters I make will fit like this. I not really have the time and the resources to print every adapter out that I make, but the Magwell itself for like a TPX magazine, those are tested and those work. So you don't have to worry about that part. Only thing that maybe is not alright when you print it out is the fact that maybe the magazine should be, let's use this one, should be sitting a little bit higher or lower. I've done my best to measure out the distance from the bolt and the magazine head that sticks out when it's activated. That sticks out, and kind of measure out so that there is no paintball sticking out halfway and the bolt will smash it. And that will be fun every time you run, you empty your mag and you got only one ball left, and every time you smash that one to pieces. Of course, that is not what you want, so that's what I tried to calculate out, but maybe it needs to be a little bit higher or lower. It should be fine. I've done it before and those calculations worked out really well, but there's a small risk that maybe that is not okay. But all the other things is tested, but I really don't have the plastics anymore to really make in black color, and really what need do I have with those adapters? I don't even have this marker, so just there's maybe a small risk that it doesn't really totally work, but at the same time it should work. That's all I want to say with it. Normally I'm not in the business to make something that's already been made before, but I will be making a T15 edition. Why? Because I can make it that it's that's this edition, so it will have a pedal like this. So maybe you find that more easy to use than the one on the side. And also, and that's maybe more interesting even, I got the anti-ball drop system. I've developed that, and it only works for when you shoot your magazine empty. And in this case, this is an exaggerated case, you put your magazine in, and of course this amount of paint cannot be pushed up by the spring. So normally if you put your magazine out, those will all fall out. You don't want that. So that's what the anti-ball drop will do. It will activate as soon as the magazine will be pulled out. So those who are left, and in this case you're only talking about 2 or 1 ball, will stay in the marker, in like the adapter for the SAR12. And that is what it will do. So in this case, this adapter doesn't have that. This by the looks of it, it will always drop 1 ball, 1 round when you put out the magazine. And that is something I try to prevent with that mechanism inside. Of course, if you don't care about that, you can also choose to not install that one and it will still work fine. But it is an extra option for you to put in. And with some, I also have made 2 TMC editions already. One that's kind of similar like this, so it doesn't have the anti-ball drop technology inside, but you only lose 1 round every time you put out the magazines. And what this does is it makes it a little bit more like this, more compact. The other one with anti-ball drop, I needed a little bit more space right here to put in the magazine, the mechanism. So the mag will sits a little bit lower. So if you find that really terrible looking or things like that, and you don't find it worth it to have the technology inside, then I have given you the option to have something like this, more compact and more like, let's say, basic. Not to say that this one is basic, but for the ones that I make, it is. Currently I don't have made the TMC TIPX magazine yet, but I will most likely do an option that's like this, so straight down, and one that's a little bit angled. Save a little bit of space, but it's really up to you if you like the look of the angled one or the straight one. That will be done in the future. I got now the dimensions, so I can give this back to a friend of mine. Then then he can use it again. And I can do that when I have some time for it. I can make that one. Also the same for the T15 magazine adapter. It's not made yet, but with the measurements I've made now, I can make that anytime I want. And maybe I do it really soon, maybe later. But it will be there. I don't see why not. But yeah, that's really it. Cannot really show you really the thing in action. Of course, if you want to know how to install the magazine adapter itself, this part, there are separate videos for that, because they are pretty much the same. I mean, it doesn't matter if this is for feed neck or if it's upside down and it's like integrated in this piece. The installation of those parts still remain the same, of course. So that's why there's just one video, so I don't have to make every video for every part that I make. That would be really a lot, and I then need to print everything out, and that's way too expensive. It's already kind of expensive hobby to do this. Of course, I like all the support I get, but still, I spent a lot of money on all the plastics, and yeah, I don't even calculate the time in it. But to be honest, that is really insane. But yeah, and of course, keep in mind, some magazines will be capable to feed first strikes, some don't, of course. So keep in mind, it's not magic that certainly now the TMC magazine is a first strike magazine. Of course not. That cannot be done with adapter, and I can do that with adapter, but if the magazine is not capable of doing it, then why bother? So I don't. Yeah, that's really it. See you guys next time. You can see the links below for the SAR12 and all the adapters that I made. If you want and can support me, please do. That would be really helpful, and that keeps it more fun for me to keep on going and make things like this, and also to actually have the money to buy some plastics and things like that, because I need to do some other things too, of course, in life, and that also costs money. So yeah, you cannot spend it all on hobby things and things like that. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's it. And now I'm gonna try to get out this adapter that's really tiny to grab on.